Hello and welcome back to your 18 WJTS in.form. I'm Kaitlyn Neukam, and once again, it's time to talk about the arts here in Jasper, Du Bois County, you name it. You know, Southern Indiana's bringing it, of course, and Kyle Rupert's here, the Executive Director of Jasper Community Arts. So welcome back. It's been another busy month for you, I imagine.
It has, yeah. Thanks for having me back.
Of course, and you know, we're on the cusps of Chalk Walk here, and we're going to talk about all of the fun summer workshops you've got going on and whatnot today. So just a lot to look forward to yet, right?
Yeah, Chalk Walk is coming up. We've added a lot of additional features to Chalk Walk this year, so we're excited about that. Encourage everyone to come on out to the Cultural Center on the 18th and just enjoy the day with your family. Got stuff for all ages, so that's exciting. And then we've got more than 20 workshops that are currently available on our website right now for people to sign up, covering all different kinds of art. And so it's going to be a busy spring and summer.
Yes, and I mean, as we kind of roll into the nicer weather, there's community events popping up everywhere, and there's a handful that, you know, are happening around the Cultural Center or in the Cultural Center, so always a perfect opportunity to get some art folks into the arts part of the Cultural Center. But will you tell us a little bit more about like the various workshops? There's workshops for adults, for kids, Camp Creates in the mix there, and there's a lot of things where people it's a lot of hands-on art workshops, right?
Yeah. Well, and a lot of it is community-based, building community, finding community. And so, you know, we start with Chalk Walk, and we've got all these different activities and crafts there on site, working with other community organizations like Alasi to bring additional resources to the table as well. We're adding additional bounce houses this year because those are really popular. We've got additional food and drink options, so we'll have coffee and teas there available for the first time. We'll have additional eating options for folks. So as the event has grown in popularity, we've been adding additional options for folks to take it all in. So we're very excited about that. And then all the workshops, some new ones we've had added this year. Peek a View Thursdays. This is for our toddlers. To get sort of their first experience in an exhibit space. And it's a great pairing. There's a few of these on Thursdays, a couple different times on a few Thursdays this summer, but it's a great opportunity to bring them out, experience galleries in a way that are designed for them. We've got a great individual lined up to lead that session. And then you can pop over to the place next door and let them get some extra energy out. So it's a great 1-2 combination. But it's about building that community and not making something just, well, I'm going to go to this one place for this brief period of time. I've got young kids, and I know like anytime we can add stuff to it and make it a longer day, just it helps with their engagement, their development, and then also from a parenting perspective, gives them something to do. So Peek a View Thursdays is coming up, and that's going to be stellar. We're also in our third year of hosting a Juneteenth event, and that's currently scheduled for June 8th. Not on Juneteenth because the city is closed that day, but or they close to recognize that day. But on June 8th, and we're inviting additional members or community groups in to talk about different folks in the past that have contributed to those areas. So really about community building and finding community. And all of this information, there's so much more that we haven't even talked about, can be found on our website, on our Facebook page. And we encourage folks to come out. There's always something new. There's always something going on. Arts related in our facility. And
I mean, I think I see the regular ceramics folks when I'm at the Cultural Center after hours. They're always in there doing something or another, and there's always the pickup pieces on the one wing of the Arts Center. So there's always something to be had, something to be going on, and you guys just wrapped up another round of First Thursdays where you exhibited artists and had a little get together. So I would only imagine there's constant in and out and trying to bring different types of people in, right?
Yeah, and then the latest exhibit that we finished installing is it's interactive. it has to deal with lights and sound and video, and the idea is people watching people, and there's a whole big explainer about it at the exhibit that goes more in depth than that. But that's the broad idea, and where that exhibit really shines is when you have a group of people. So you can see it on your own. It's still really interesting, but I would encourage get a group together and come out. And the way that the different cameras are set up and the lights and the screens, it really is pretty engaging when you have multiple people there to take it in. And that's really exciting. We have another exhibit where we've got pieces on loan from recording artist Jack Harlow. I almost said rapper, but that's what he does. But so he owns one of those pieces. We have that on display. And just then our visual arts committee, which is made up of a bunch of really talented folks. It's an incredible time to come down and see the work, and it's always changing. So every month it's something different, which is one reason why we have First Thursday, is just to encourage folks to come out and take a look at what has changed. So it's never the same venue twice.
Yes, I mean, it's the same expansive space, but there's always little pieces that change, and if you're not already picking out like the unique pieces in artwork, that's even better, because then you go into the arts part of the cultural center and you're like, oh, what's changed in here? Let's check out something else. And lots of diversity there, and cannot stress enough that you guys always provide the event details or workshop details or all kinds of stuff on your website. And for those who may or may not remember, what's the website?
JasperArts.org.
Pretty simple.
Yeah.
So we're getting into spring, gonna go into summer. The kiddos are gonna get out of school and then go back in eventually, and all that fun stuff. And we're not gonna press too much because you're here willingly, and we're not gonna scare you away. But you guys are planning your next season shows, right? Yeah.
Well, so planning's done. We have all the shows selected. Finalizing all the final details there, but we do have the dates, we have the artists, and so we're just putting together the marketing materials to send out. So those should be coming out here in the next few weeks or so. We'll be making that announcement. We've got a lot of really exciting changes even. Mm-hmm. We've added some features that we think will make the concert going experience here locally a lot better for folks. Or at least from feedback we've gotten from patrons, we've really tried to respond to that. And so I think folks will be really pleased with what they see.
Are there certain genres that you guys were kind of leaning into, or certain experiences, like, say, age-wise, like more kiddos things, or more different things that you can, again, if that's not on the docket, you let me know, but just a little bit of the diversity you might be expecting.
Yeah, well, so we definitely go make things probably a little harder on ourselves than we need to, in that we try to provide as much of a variety as we can. And some of that, some years it's easier than others, just depending on which artists or companies are touring and where they're touring and when they're touring. And so, this upcoming season is more concert heavy than past seasons have been. And again, a lot of that's based on artist and company availability. But we still have country shows coming in. We've got our holiday season show coming in. We've got at least one performance that's going to be phenomenal for the entire family to come see. And I say that and it makes it sound like a lot of the shows aren't, but by and large, most of the shows we bring in are suitable for any age.
Yes.
Maybe one or two, but every family's different, every child is different, and so that's really, we try to put as much information about the show out as possible and let the parents or guardians decide. I know my kid old enough to see this, but there's not really anything that we're bringing in that I would say, definitely don't bring your kids to this one. But we've got several multi-platinum artists, a lot of Tony Award-winning artists, for Broadway folks. A lot of names I think people will recognize, and then we're also bringing in. We've got classical, we have world music, we've got some folk music. So it's a pretty full lineup. And we're pretty excited about it.
That sounds very exciting. Again, it's not time to release information
Not yet.
but
Yeah.
we appreciate the glimpse in, because we know you've been working hard on getting all of this situated, and again, it is in the end to cater towards what the community is really looking for, and the idea that it's all located in southern Indiana and you don't have to go to those big cities or out of state is just amazing.
And you know, the other thing that's interesting that is sort of behind the curtain too is we're already planning for 2025, 2026, and we haven't even announced 2024, 2025. So there's a lot of advanced planning and negotiations that go on, and it is one of those things where we're sort of entering a part of the field where we're talking with artists that, you know, we weren't even on their radar before. And so as they keep having good experiences with our patrons and with our venue and our community, that word gets around. And so we're able to then start having those conversations with some of the artists who wouldn't have thought to talk with us before.
That is phenomenal. No, that's good to know that we're received well by those coming in, and they can share that, because it's something a bit more unique, I think, that people can take pride in for sure. Yeah. Will you remind us, since we're talking about the season, and of course that brings up season tickets and that kind of stuff. You know, the Art Center, half of what you guys do with the exhibits, at least, is free admission. But for the paid items on the docket and buying tickets to whatnot, where does that money, where does that funding go back towards?
Right. So for the concerts and shows that we present, which would be separate from things like Showdown or the Shine competition or Actors Community Theater, which use the facility. The shows that we present, the artists we bring in and present, all the ticket proceeds that come in go directly to cover the cost of the artist's fee. And even with what the ticket prices are, it's still not enough to cover all the expenses that go in with bringing an artist. There are travel expenses, lodging expenses, meals, insurance. There's a lot of things that go into that that the ticket prices don't cover. So whatever price the person's paying for their ticket is going essentially back to the artist in many ways. And then there is a small fee for the platform, the tool that's used to make that transaction possible. But that's no different than anywhere you go. Every place you go to, they're either incorporating that within the ticket price, or they're letting you know up front, like, hey, here's the fee for this. But it's just it's a part of the industry right now. Now, I will say that what you can expect from us is a fee that is more reasonable. You're not going to see a Ticketmaster fee. So where you could buy a ticket to some venues and then your price doubles by the end, you're not going to get that from us. And that's because our costs like I said, that ticket money is going basically to the artist in a roundabout way.
Yes, and I mean, you I think dived into it perfectly, that people may or may not understand, but you know, even so, the way that you guys are able to keep your ticket prices so low ends up still having that space for the artists to come to do their thing, but you know, it's going right back to it. It's not like you guys are stashing it somewhere, and you know, that's what these fundraisers that you guys have been doing off to the side for the Art Center are for. There's a lot of different ways that money's in and out with everything these days, and of course prices are going up for everything. But keeping what you do honest and sharing all of that information with, you know, this is what goes in, out, and if you want us to keep doing the great job that you say we're doing, we have to keep funding. So I appreciate you diving into that. I wasn't expecting to say it.
No, I'm happy to. It's all public. It's not like it's a secret. It's the ticket fees, ticket prices, grants. Some of the grants we receive and donations make up what we're able to then pay artists to come. And then the other part of that makes the foundation actually possible is the investment that the city puts into it, which they decide to do in their budget every year. And that's part of being a department of the city. And without that, with the limited size or capacity of the venue, those ticket prices would have to be a lot higher, because then you have to cover all of those other expenses, which right now are being covered because the city believes that this is worth doing. And they believe that because the community believes in it.
Yes.
And so it's that support's probably the most critical of all of it. But the more we can do that and bring those out and make it available for folks who are here who maybe can't drive 2 hours, 3 hours or more to go see some of these artists, the better. But then the other side of that too is bringing in folks from the region or further into our community, stay in our hotels, eat at our restaurants, shop in our stores. That's bringing in outside resources in as well. And that's the other part of it too.
Yes. So, I mean, it's just, it highlights and enhances the community that you guys are operating in and being able to bring in. So, thank you for the deep dive.
Anytime.
No, it's good because, again, even though you guys are you're in workshop mode, you're in chalk walk mode, you're still doing all of this stuff behind the scenes.
All of it, yeah. It never ends.
Never ends. Well, Kyle, is there anything else you want to make sure that we know about for this month?
I would just check out our Facebook page, check out our website. If you ever have a question about something, send us a message, send us an email, fill out the contact form on our website. We're always looking for volunteers. You don't have to have any special skills. Everyone is special in their own way, and we have an opportunity for anyone. But if you ever have a question about any of that stuff, whether it's programming, how the budget's done, why we make the marketing decisions we make, none of it's a secret. None of it's proprietary. We are here to serve the community, so we're happy to answer any of those questions.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much.
Yeah.
And of course, Jasper Community Arts, it's for the community.
That's right.
It's part of life.
Yep.
Well, thank you so much, of course, for coming in and talking to us about all that. I'm now more informed, so
there
I
you
really
go.
appreciate it.
Mission accomplished.
Very good. Well, we appreciate you as always, and we'll see you next month.
Sounds good.
Fantastic. Thank you so much at home for watching. This has been your 18 WJTS in.form. Visit jasperarts.org for more if you are interested in anything that we've talked about here today, or just want to learn more about what the arts does in front of the scene and behind the scenes. And this has been your in.form, where we are local people watching local people.